3, 2, 1.
Hello, in this training video for WWSU Radio, we're going to talk about the anatomy of the mixer board and how it works, what the different buttons do. So first off, let's talk about the different channels. We have a bunch of different channels that are labeled, and they indicate the different devices that we have for the station. So we have our 4 microphones. Now keep in mind, the microphones go counterclockwise. So we start with mic 1, which is the DJ, and then mic 2, which is that, which is currently out of service right now. Mic 3, which is that one, and then mic 4, which is the one back there. The SS1 is the solid state recorder, which is this device right here. This device you could put in memory cards or USB drives, and you can either play tracks through it or you can record on-air audio to those devices. So it's a pretty cool device. You got your CDs 1, 2, and 3, which are 1, 2, and 3. Number 3 is designated our emergency disaster CD. So this one is pre-programmed to automatically start playing, and there's a CD already loaded in it when you turn it on. So let's say if all heck breaks loose and everything stops working, all you have to do is turn this CD deck on, put it on the mixer board, and within about 5 seconds it starts playing that CD. These 2 CDs you can use for your own use. You could turn them on, you could pop them open, and load a CD in there for you to play on the air. Then we have TT1 and TT2. These are the 2 turntables which are found over here. So you could use these turntables to play vinyl records on them. I do not recommend scratching with these tables. They are not designed for actual DJ scratching like that. And I have to figure out where that mat went. Somebody took the mat. On taking stuff, we did have an incident where somebody stole our needles. So we have a policy now, if you want to use the turntables, you got to contact the engineer, and they'll put the needles on for you and then take them off after your show. That way nobody steals them. So be sure to get in contact with them if you want to play vinyl records on your radio show. We go back over here, we have CAS1, which is the cassette deck. So if you have some cassette tapes that you want to play, that would be this device right here. We have automation. So this is actually the backup automation, which is the computer in the engineering room. So automation is the program that plays music when there's nobody on the air. You're going to want to leave this channel on and up at all times. Comp is the audio from the computer. So say if you have Discord or Spotify or YouTube, etc., all of that on this computer is going to play through the comp channel. Prod is the production studio. So let's say if you have additional people in the production studio, you could feed their audio through this mixer board and on the air through the prod channel. We no longer use the remote channel, but that used to be a direct link from places like the Nutter Center and the McLean Gym when we were doing basketball broadcasts. Auxiliary is this cord right here. You can plug this into a laptop or a phone or whatever you want to have auxiliary audio go into the mixer board. Additionally, if you have a DJ controller, you can unplug the 1/8 portion of this and get stereo XLR to plug into your controller. So it's really cool. If you want to mix live on the air, you can do that. Just plug your controller into these XLRs. We have CART, which is the primary automation system, which is radio DJ on this computer here. So this is what our automation system looks like. And so this automation system on this on-air computer is the primary CART one. And again, you're going to leave this on and up at all times because the system will automatically flip between these 2 channels if one or another computer goes offline. Finally, we have the phone. So the phone line is right here. And if you look right here, that is our request number. You can have people call in to the studio and you can put them on the air through the phone. to answer the phone, there are a couple of ways you could do that. You could either pick it up like this, or you could put it on the mixer board. So what you do is you turn it on, but do not turn the levels up unless if you want to throw them on the air. And to hear them, you're going to put it on Q. And then once you want to put them on the air, you raise the levels up, and then they'll be on the air. Keep in mind, if you have it on the mixer board, have them on the mixer board, but you do not have the headset off of the base, turning it off is going to hang them up. So be cautious or be mindful of that. So if you don't want to hang them up when you turn that channel off, just set the headset off of the base. But of course, don't forget to put it back on when you're done talking to them. Otherwise, nobody can call in. A couple of other things that I want to talk about. So these 4 buttons on each channel determine where the audio goes. So program means that that channel is going to go on the air when you have it turned on. Odd means that that channel is going to go to all of the devices like the CD players, the solid state recorder, and the computer for recording. That's mainly for recording. Auxiliary is the overhead speakers in the OnAir studio. So any channels you have on auxiliary will play through those speakers. There is one exception to this. Let's say if you have some music or something playing on comp and then you turn a microphone on. The microphone's going to mute all of the other channels and you're not going to be able to hear them through the overhead speakers. If you do want to hear those channels, the alternative is to throw it on Q and then turn the Q volume up. So I'm going to give a demonstration with the automation system. So you can hear it. You can hear it coming through the mini speaker on there. Be careful though, you don't want the audio to be so loud that it goes back into your microphones, because then you'll have an echo. And then the final channel is util. Unlike the other 3 channels, which are controlled by the volume slider and the on and off switches, util is not controlled by those. It bypasses those. Util are the channels that people on the phone line are going to hear. So let's say if you have a caller currently on the phone line, even though your microphones are currently off, if util is on, they're going to hear you through the microphones on the phone line. And this is really nice because then you can talk to your phone guests while you're on break and don't have to worry about, them not hearing you and being able to communicate, what we're going to talk about next and so on and so forth. And then we have these 5 knobs over here, well, more like 4 because we don't use TB. Q, as I mentioned, is the volume for the little speaker here when you have channels on Q. HDPN is the volume of the DJ headset, which is right here. CR is the volume of the overhead speakers in the OnAir studio. And studio is the volume of all of the other headsets for your guests. I think that is pretty much it. That pretty much sums up the anatomy of the mixer board. Oh, there is one more thing I wanted to cover, and that is source AB. If you come with me, Scotty, who is the cameraman, we're going to go out here into the lobby for a moment. You see this jack panel on our wall right here. This allows people in the lobby to hook up directly to the OnAir studio. And this is really convenient if you have live bands or performances that you want on the air, but the studio is not big enough for them. They could set up out here in the lobby and plug into this device, which will then feed into either the production studio or the OnAir studio. To get them to go on the air, that's where source AB comes in. So there are 3 microphone jacks on that panel that are labeled 2, 3, and 4. If you switch the appropriate microphone to source B, which when it's lit, that means it's on source B, that means instead of using the microphone in the studio, it's going to use the microphone jack in the lobby. Do be mindful though, let's say if somebody's plugged into mic 2 out there in the lobby and you're using it, you can no longer use mic 2 in the studio when you have that on. You can only have one or the other, unfortunately. So that sums up the anatomy of the mixer board, and feel free to contact myself or any of the other directors if you have questions.